The Demon King's army, intent on destruction, was utterly defeated by a mysterious group led by a single, incredibly powerful human. This enigmatic group appeared suddenly and, with their strong subordinates, the Hackle, swiftly crushed all opposition. Standing over the defeated, the Dark King of Helheim declared, "It is finished, everyone." His arrival ushers in a new era of power, closing one chapter of conflict and opening another. The Dark King then commanded his followers to move toward Helheim, a place that seems to be more than just a physical location. This order hints at a larger plan and a deeper mystery surrounding the Corpse King and his ambitions. Surprisingly, the Corpse King vanished shortly after giving his command, his powerful presence suddenly gone. The scene then shifts to an ordinary, empty room, leaving the audience to question his fate and the meaning of his disappearance. The true identity of the Corpse King, also known as Hell, is revealed to be Hizaki Shu, an ordinary middle school student who was summoned to another world with his class. Tragically, in this new and dangerous world, Hizaki watched as his classmates perished one by one, a devastating experience that likely forged his current persona. Left alone after the tragic loss of his classmates, Hizaki Shu became consumed by revenge and adopted the persona of the Corpse King. He formed a secret society called Helheim and gathered enough power to finally defeat the Demon King, only to be forcibly sent back to his original world, concluding this chapter of his extraordinary tale. The grand tale of the once mighty ruler takes an unexpected turn as Hizaki, in a moment of vulnerability, leaves behind his past and former identity as nothing more than a distant memory. Despite only a month passing in the other world where he lost his classmates, 5 years have gone by in his real life, leaving him with lingering trauma and a wish to forget his delusional past. Despite the revelation of his past delusions, Hizaki is deeply affected by the loss of his friends in the other world. He vows to never forget them, carrying the weight of survivor's guilt as he faces his high school graduation, determined to live on despite the pain. Just as Hizaki was moving forward, he finds himself back at the very moment his otherworldly journey began. A familiar scene unfolds, and a voice calls out to him, suggesting someone he knows is also here, ready to greet him after a long absence. The figure who greeted Hizaki refers to him as Hizaki Shu, and then with a more significant title, God. Hizaki, clearly surprised and perhaps resistant to this title, questions why he's being called that and demands to know what this mysterious entity wants from him. The true nature of Hizaki's role in this world, and the identity of the person addressing him, remains a compelling mystery. The being who called Hizaki God reveals the reason for his return. The Helheim he supposedly created is now causing trouble. Despite Hizaki's confusion at being forcibly returned and unaware of the current situation, this mysterious figure insists he was summoned specifically to deal with this new crisis in their world. The being emphasizes the severity of the Helheim situation, demanding Hizaki take responsibility and offering to send him back instantly. Despite the abruptness, Hizaki is more concerned about his powers, particularly his ice magic and the abilities he had as the Corpse King, but the response he receives suggests they might not carry over to this new beginning. The being reassures Hizaki that his former classmates in Helheim would remain loyal even without their seals, expressing confusion as to why Helheim is now chaotic. The being then suddenly addresses a powerful figure called the Gruesome King, praising their might. Hizaki, observing this, quietly acknowledges the situation, hinting at a new challenge or player in this unfolding story. The being declares it's time for Hizaki to leave his ordinary life, offering a reward for his past heroism. With these words, a clear message rings out, the return of the Corpse King, signaling Hizaki's re-emergence into the extraordinary. We arrive at the imposing headquarters of the secret society, Fludner, where a figure sits in a commanding position. Another figure is told they won't be returning today, while the seated figure wonders about the long absence of someone, suggesting a reunion or perhaps a continued separation is at hand. With Hizaki's departure, Nilf observes that the Hackle have scattered, emphasizing that Hizaki's sharp mind was the core of their organization. Nilf, identifying himself as Hizaki's trusted right hand, Nilf the Undiluted, laments the absence of their leader. A character whispers the name, Shu, with evident distress, while another reacts with confusion, noting that only the Hakai and the Corpse King should know this location. Amidst these reactions, one declares they never want to see Shu again, while another begins to say, "As long as you're alive, leaving their sentiment unfinished and adding to the unfolding mystery. A character urgently calls out for Nilf, only to be confronted by Garm, who has appeared unexpectedly. Garm declares that they can sense the presence of their corpse king, hinting at Hizaki's imminent return or a significant development related to him. The declaration rings out, "Our king has returned." Hizaki, back in the familiar setting, seems to have been successfully summoned. With a resolute gaze, he prepares to assess his current state, ready to face whatever awaits him as the returned corpse king. Hizaki surveys his status, noting his ice magic and the ominous Blessing of Death ability, which grows stronger with each life taken and friendly being lost. As the Corpse King, he acknowledges the power this title grants, yet he understands that this very power, which makes him stronger with every defeat, is also the root of all evil. Hizaki reflects on the Blessing of Death, remembering the first time he gained a dead classmate's ability. He acknowledges that his power to defeat the Demon King was born from the tragic loss of his friends, a despicable ability acquired through immense suffering, leaving him with the haunting truth, they're all dead now. Hizaki resolves to not rely on the Blessing of Death this time, determined to prevent past tragedies from repeating. With a focused gaze, he casts the ice magic spell Glacius, declaring his first priority is to find those he is searching for. The scene is a forest now completely frozen, causing shock and confusion among unseen observers. They note that just yesterday, Griffel's sea of trees was a normal forest, leading to speculation that this sudden, widespread freezing might be the work of a powerful demon. In the frozen forest, a princess, heir to the bloodline that defeated the Demon King, resolves to take action despite the knight's request for her to wait. Observing the icy landscape and the absence of life, she recognizes the likely use of ice magic and understands the gravity of the situation. A character reacts with cries of pain and surprise, suggesting they have encountered a formidable foe. The accompanying thought, "I guess IT really is a high-ranking demon," confirms the presence of a powerful and dangerous entity. A figure lies injured on the ground, prompting another to rush to their aid, asking if they are all right and suspecting a demon attack. They urge the injured person to hold on, as the fallen figure manages a feint time. The situation is clearly dire, and the identity of the attacker remains unknown. From the brink of starvation, a character's fortunes dramatically change with the discovery of a delicious bowl of noodles. Their earlier despair is replaced by utter contentment, declaring the meal so good it's worth dying happy for, all for the reasonable price of 200. Having been rescued and offered food, the starving character is told to eat slowly as the rescuer acknowledges the unexpected state of the forest. Noticing a familiar family crest, the rescuer is surprised and then introduces themselves, asking the other person not to be astonished by their identity. The person who offered food reveals their identity as Asha Griffel, the fifth princess of the Holy Kingdom of Griffel. This unexpected announcement surprises both the starving character and another observer, as Asha declares her lineage as a descendant of the heroes who defeated the Demon King centuries ago. Asha, the fifth princess, points directly at Hizaki, while he appears bewildered, contemplating the royal family that defeated the Demon King centuries ago. Another character observes Hizaki's muttering and wonders if he has lost his memory, prompting them to ask for his name, hinting at a possible forgotten connection to the kingdom's history. Just as Hizaki begins to state his name, a voice from the shadows sharply commands, "Don't move," cutting him off and introducing an immediate sense of danger and uncertainty. The sudden command to not move comes with a deadly threat, as a weapon is held to Hizaki's neck, targeting Princess Asha. The princess and her companion, eyes wide with shock, demand, "Who are you? Are you the ones responsible for the frozen forest?" Their captor, a shadowed figure with a smug grin, slowly steps forward, his voice dripping with arrogance. "It was far too easy to capture the princess," he sneers, his confidence growing. "You should have known you couldn't escape." The captor introduces himself as Lucas, a high-ranking member of the secret society Helheim's intelligence division, expressing pleasure at making their acquaintance. However, Princess Asha's companion reacts with a wary Helheim. Realizing that this connection spells trouble for them. Well, that's a wrap. If you had as much fun watching this as I did making it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And hey, if you want to see more of this episode, hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Catch you in the next one.